I just before we get started, the good stuff. I'm looking here in my workshop, and I want to expand the wireless for the, let's just say, compound, for the compound itself. Of course, we have the garage that will come online. Man, at this rate, the end of the year, towards the end of the year, there's a couple things I want to get done in there though as well. Um, I will be putting an access point right above this door. I can't go any higher than that because the light will be bright. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. So I'm gonna put an access point out here so that I can actually start using smart locks here and there. They're wireless smart locks. I've been having issues with my wireless, so I got to get that fixed in the house. I already ordered some new parts. Got some new lights put up, so that's really nice. Just paid off that building moments ago. Dropped about 6K on that and got that done. But I'm gonna tell you where I got the money from. Because winter is coming in so many ways, there's changes in terms of my work and income and stuff like that. So a minor setback, but at the same time, I've prepared for this for months now. So I'm ready for it. One thing I did was liquidate some assets I had. So went ahead and liquidated those, and I am now just paying off a lot of stuff, just prepared for the long term, and not holding on to too much debt because, what's it called? Excuse me, I don't have the extra income coming in to handle that. So, and then, already talked to the parents and stuff like that. So all that stuff prepared for. I've talked to you guys before about being temporal beings, being men. And again, I don't think I'm using that word right. I never really even look at it, but being men that are thinking ahead and prepared for anything that comes, So made those changes and pretty much talk with my parents and stuff, and they're like, man, whatever, Mike, like the fact that you're doing what you do is really appreciated. Talk to my friend about getting a building like this, or he wants to get a building. He's like, Mike, man, you really convinced me. I really am looking into it. So I had him talk to my building guy. Some people have car guys, I have building guys. So this is how it is in Southeast Georgia. But so got him in touch with my building guy and got that going, and he'll move forward whenever he's ready. All right, so down to the meat of it. You have to understand a lot of what men do, and in terms of with women, we're listening to all women, and in the words, and we're listening to all women and all their problems and everything that they say. And even if those things contradict one another, we're still listening to it. And in the words of Line of MGTOW, give them nothing. Now, I don't totally believe in hey, listen, if you're in a relationship with a woman, listen, I think it's compromises, it's trade-offs. It's just realistic as adults in an adult relationship. These are not our slaves by any means. They're not our, they're not people that we just use and abuse or anything else, right? These are human beings that we're with. So either you're going to compromise with them, or they're going to bend to your will, or you just leave them alone totally. Whichever one you want to do, go ahead and do it. But understand the pros and cons of all of that in terms of increased peace versus, having to compromise more and dealing with other people's wants and needs, right? But as something Adrian Thomas sent to group email, and what he was saying was, or what was being said in the post, is a woman talking about, and it looks like Ed might have picked this up. Who knows? We'll see. But it's a woman talking about how men are not plumbers anymore. We need more men that lay, plumbing pipe as opposed to sexual pipe. And Adrian looked into a little bit. Chicks from ATL. Shout out to Alvin Hollinger III as well, because I think the post came from him or something like that. But chicks from ATL, and she's 50 or something. So she's already done her dirt. Her time is up, so to speak. So now she wants a man that does for her, that instead of doing to her, so it's that whole bullshit, right? Where it's just hey, listen, if we really look into what you're saying, we understand why you're saying it. We're not dumb. We see what you're doing. Stop it. You know what I mean? STAHP. Stop it. Come on, get out of here. So, but I've talked about this before, feminine masculinity, where it's masculinity that is in service to the woman, where male masculinity is in service to the man. I understand that is a Captain Obvious moment and statement and phrase, or just methodology and thought process, right? But really, female masculinity is masculinity that protects, provides, gives to the woman in her nest, and then the woman doesn't give much like what you see in the the social dynamic of hyenas, right? But then male-based masculinity gives to the woman, protects the woman, but does it in the vision or at the behest, or at the benefit of the man and his vision of what he wants, what he expects to happen for his family, whether good or bad. Hey, listen, let's put money away for the college fund for the kids. Let's make sure that they have X, Y, and Z. Okay, hey, you have some input, no problem. Let's talk about it and go from there, so on and so forth. So like all these different things would be a part of male-based masculinity. And we're talking about the quote-unquote good male-based masculinity. There, of course, is some toxic stuff. We're not even talking about that. We know that exists, and we know it's not as much as most motherfuckers say it was. Also, you're dealing with toxic people, so you need to stop dealing with toxic people before you start going after everybody else, talking about that they're toxic, right? And I could say that for men talking to women. That's my whole disclaimer about being fair. Fuck that shit. Let's get it out here. Let's get that out the way and let's move on. But a lot of these people are schizophrenic. A lot of these people are, they have multiple personality disorders in a sense, in the terms of the way that they think, the methodologies that they follow, the ideals that they have for their life. You know, you hear a woman that says, hey, I want a man that's peaceful, that stays home, that comes home and is loyal. But then somehow, some way, they get pregnant in the back seat of a car by some, dusty ass dude that links up with them and smokes weed. And it's like, and it's just like, wow, and of course they do that in their early days, and then they change and they become more mature, and they fall and form into their divine female quintessence and all this other bullshit, right? And then men are just like, wow, sis, wow, queen, wow, empress, I'm so glad you've changed. Let me get that used box. Yeah, give it to me. Oh, you'll give it to me when you want to give it to me? Oh, okay, I'll wait. And that's like what women expect to happen nowadays, is that they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can get impregnated in back seats. Look at Sergeant Willa Pete's video where I think he had a community post where he shared this one woman where she was 16, or she was 16 at the time, and she was pregnant, or 4 months pregnant with her second baby, and pretty much she gave it up to a dude. I think not the first night, but let's say even the second or third night, but gave it up to him in the back of seat of his car, and then now she barely talks to the dude or anything else like that, and she's okay with not really having much of any contact with the man, or with the young man, because the man is like 16 or something like that, if you want to call him that. It is what it is. In the words of our brother Accountable Commentary, they're just males. These are black males. They aren't really black men, right? So they're not productive black men that are doing anything for themselves, for the people around them, immediate family, and then overall society, right? So when I hear this, right, like they want the corporate thug. It's that whole juxtaposition, that whole thing where it's like it's two things in one. They want a man that can protect, provide, that will go off and is very exciting, but then also reserved when need be, and running a multi-million-dollar company and all this other shit. And this one lady in this post is talking about plumbers out here make 6 figures too, blah blah blah. And it's like, you're saying this when you're 50. You weren't saying this when you were 30, 40 or something like that. Talking about, most women, I would say, we don't know what she fucking said, but anyways, we'll say she didn't, because most of them don't fucking say this shit until it's too late. But you're not saying this when you're like 60 plus years old, or you're not saying this when you're like, your early 20s, coming out of your teenage years. You have your best years ahead of you. You have your best eggs ahead of you, where you can actually have babies and actually deal with childbirth and everything else. You're not saying none of this shit around that fucking time. What are you fucking saying? It's hot girl summer. I'm a boss bitch. I'm IND, blah, blah, blah. I can't spell independent, but I'm fucking independent. I don't need no man, all this other bullshit. You're saying all these fucking things, but you're not talking about the electricians, the plumbers, the men that went to trade schools, that went to that were journeymen and everything else, and doing what they're supposed to put themselves in the right position so that they can actually provide not just for themselves but for others around them, if they actually so choose to have people around them. Provide for other men in business and everything else like that, passing a business or a skill or a trade down. I just, with me liquidating some assets, I have a little bit of money to play with. Like, I really don't, but I do. Like, there's some things where I'm just gonna have to pay over time, and I'm okay with that. But some things I want to get done now, like some electrical work in the house. Well, my electrical company, I talk mostly to the third generation of that company. That's the son of the current owner, and the previous owner was the current owner's granddad, or father, I should say. And then, like, it's like kind of like him and his brother run the company or something like that. So I see all of these things, man, and I see men that are putting things together that are long term, that are long term, and that are what's it called? Intergenerational in terms of wealth building and so on and so forth. Like these kids, or this kid in general. This guy's a lot younger than me. He's probably like 30 something. Not much younger, but maybe he's in his 20s. I don't remember. Anyways, but he's a younger guy, and it's just like, he's done all the electrical work around my house, hooking up my workshop. He'll actually go ahead and hook up my building once I get the money together for it. So, like, when I hear all this stuff where these women are now talking about, especially as we're getting older, as older millennials, geriatric millennials and things like that, and your Zs are taking over, or your Zs have taken over, I should say, have taken over the prime dating market. A Z would be like my nephew, things like that. So they have taken over that. And then you have the alphas coming up next. We're done for. It's over for us. We're just, if anything, we're just paving the way and making sure that the pillows are fluffed for the next generation, and understand that they have the tools and blades if necessary. Either they can actually have a comfy spot, or they can have the weapons to beat whatever they need to in the future when it comes to this relationship game and dating market and this battle, this overall battle, so to speak, what's happening at the table and what men are going to accept and not going to accept and things like that. So when I hear women talk about, oh, well, hey, these men are six figures, they'd rather lay pipe and all. Listen, baby. That's what you gonna get. You're gonna get that because when you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to do in terms of like finding a good person that you can be with for a long period of time, even if it's not forever, but even if you can have an amicable divorce or anything else like that, you could say, hey, listen, I can move away from this person and then I can split something with them or what have you. Or, like, hey, I can stay with them for a long period of time. I know what I just said is a little bit counterintuitive to our overall talking points and things like that, but we know what happens when it comes to divorce. We know what happens when it comes to marriage. A lot of this shit is temporary. It is not permanent. That's just how it is. So I'm just being realistic when it comes to that. But I just got these lanterns, man. Like, I fucking love these things. They're really nice. They're really nice, by the way. Like, got these, like, I got more for inside and outside. So I got some inside in the sunroom, and then I got them all replaced outside here. So really nice, and I got warm light. And then I'm gonna do some adjustments to these light to make them warmer as well, because I got about 1, 2, and then 3 that I want to adjust to make them as warm as this, so this whole area won't be so much bright light or white bright light. I'm not sure. I don't like the contrast, pretty much, like, because there's no point in this if this light is this bright. So anyways, I'm thinking about it. We'll see. And it's also nicer when you look out that it'll still show, but it won't be as like bright. It'll be a little bit warmer. So I'm looking to get that done. But anyways, and so you're dealing with women who have aged out of the dating market and are just fighting for the last scraps. And a part of that is doing the whole Taraji P. Henson, black man, we need you, we love you, come back, baby, come back. I will give it all to you. I have nothing to offer you, but if whatever's left over, you know, like, baby, come back. Like, you know, that's what you're fucking dealing with. You're dealing with the leftovers, and expected to actually be, you know, be thankful for that, be like overjoyed for that, to say, wow, you know, this is amazing. I love this, like, you know, 3-day-old stuffing, you know, this old turkey. Wow. You know, you left some meat on the bone for me. Oh my God, these scraps are amazing, man. Thank you so much. Delicious. You know, and that's like what we expected to say, as if we're supposed to eat this 3-day-old fucking meat that was left out on the fucking counter after Thanksgiving. And it's like, wow, you know, hey, eat that before. I'm not throwing that away. You know, you better eat that. That's good fucking meat. You know, and that's what we're expected to do as men, is to just eat that meat. Like, it is what it is, you know? Pause. But you know, we're just expected to just like take whatever we can fucking get. And the thing is, a lot of men are, and that's the sad part, you know. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to jump off of here because I have to go to boxing training here and figure out what I'm going to do for some of this wiring here. I'm going to be moving probably some access points this weekend, putting up some new ones and getting some knot wiring in place, and then hopefully shoring up a couple things here with you know, the wireless and smart home stuff in here in the house. I'm trying to increase the wireless coverage, as well as make sure all these smart devices work, and increase wireless coverage and stability of the overall network. That's what I wanted to say. All right, with that being said, peace to you all. Love you all. Please be safe.